everyone, and welcome to my first class in the Journey to Flexibility series. Today, we're deconstructing the blueprint of a full bridge. For today's class, you'll need to be near a wall, and you'll need a cloth and 2 blocks and a bolster. Take a moment to center yourself before we begin our meditation. Take a deep inhale through the nose and a deep exhale through the nose. Begin to ignite your Ujjayi breath. Inhale and exhale through the nose. Find your rhythm. Find your center. Today we will explore your backbending ability. Now, to find true depth in this backbend, we have to look beyond just the spine. We're going to spend this class opening the shoulders and the hips to create space for that arc. I'll also show you why mastering your splits is actually the secret key to a stable bridge. Take one last deep breath before we prepare for Om. Bring your hands together. Take a deep inhale and exhale to Om. Om. And release. Meet me in tabletop. From tabletop, we'll just begin to unwind the body, beginning with the toes. You can sit back on your toes, maybe do a little wiggle. Just unwind the body. Ready for the day. Maybe one final toe stretch. I really like the toe stretch because our toes are always crunkled up forward. And they really help with balance in everyday walking. So using all your toes is very beneficial. Take an inhale and exhale. Let's release. Let's move into our wrist stretches, beginning with the right hand. Flip the right hand so the palms facing up, fingers pointing back towards you. Just breathe here. How does this feel? We spend so much of our lives with our hands facing forward, so having the weight distributed this way can feel very intense. And we'll switch. Take an inhale and exhale. Now, for some, this might bring some discomfort, but for others, it might feel quite natural as you begin to do it more frequently. Breathing here. And release. We'll take the hands so the fingers are pointing back towards our knees. And you can gently lean back as you exhale. I like to add a little toe stretch here. And just breathe here. Again, only leaning back if it feels comfortable for you. You want to stay in the framework of discomfort, never moving into pain. Using your breath as a guide. If you're not able to breathe or find your rhythm, you've gone too far. And slowly release. We'll take our hands back to center. Untuck the toes and take a breath here. Now we'll just do our hand stretch one more time, taking that right palm, facing it up, and we'll lift it to the sky. And we'll bring it all the way through. And now our right hand we're going to use as our shelf to hold us here. Now, typically we take it behind. And if you want, you can do this version, but we're going to do a different version. So we're going to take our left leg and bring it, try to grab our right hand with our left foot, or just bring it out as far as you can. Now, this is where our left hand comes in handy. We can bring it over to the other side for a twist or keep it out in front for your shelf. Now, wherever you are today, take one final breath and exhale and release. Now we're going to do the other side. Just take a moment to find your center. Exhale. Inhale, lift the hand, left the hand. Exhale, bring it through. Inhale here. Now we'll take the right hand and bring it over. You can tuck it in there if you like. Or again, we can use it as our shelf. Take our right leg and try to bring it to our left hand. Now, again, we can bring our hand over if you like for that abdominal twist. This adds a bit of balance to it. Wherever you are, take one final breath and release. Nice job. All right, let's find our center. Inhale and exhale. Now we can grab your blocks for what I call the heart melting secret sauce. Place your blocks shoulder distance apart at the top of your mat. As you come down, bring your knees a little wider than hip distance. This allows you to really sit back into your hips and find a stable base. You can keep your toes tucked for that extra bit of balance and grounding. Place your elbows on the center of the blocks and bring your hands into a prayer position behind your head. Notice the intensity here. By keeping the palms pressed together, you are creating a deep targeted stretch through the triceps and the thoracic spine. Inhale and exhale. Just let your chest melt towards the floor. Inhale and exhale. Keep your intention on opening the shoulders and the upper body. We spend so much of our lives hunched forward, so we're going to sit here and let the heart melt. This is where the real transformation happens. It's nothing fancy, it's nothing shiny. It's just slow, patient breath. Let gravity do the work and just be here now. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Remember your Ujjayi breath. This is the secret to the high, effortless bridge. Inhale. One final deep breath and exhale. And slowly release the body, preparing to come out. Inhale and exhale. Let's move into our final upper body opening before we start our flow. Grab your cloth or strap. We're moving into cow face armor. Reach your right arm high, then bend the elbow to drop the cloth down your back. Reach your left hand out and around, grabbing the other side of the cloth. Instead of forcing your hands to touch, use the cloth to find that sweet spot where you can gently pull the opposite directions. This is the ultimate test for your shoulder internal and external rotation. And we'll release and do the other side. Inhale, reach your left arm high, lengthening through the side body and bend at the elbow and drop your cloth down your spine. Reach your right arm out and around to find the other end of the cloth. Inhale, take a moment to notice if this side feels different. Maybe your hands are closer or maybe there's a wider gap. Exhale, just breathe wherever you are and release. That was a lot of shoulder opening. Let's come down into child's pose. And take a moment of rest here before our flow. Let's begin Surya Namaskara A. Before we begin, let's check our foundation and ensure that we aren't tucking our pelvis under and our shoulders are tucked under our ears and back. Take an inhale here, find your center. Exhale. Inhale, sweep the hands overhead and exhale, fold. Place your hands on the ground or your shins. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, step back to plank. Now down to our 8-limb serpent. Place your chin, chest, knees, toes, and hands Inhale up to cobra, press the hips down, pull the shoulders back. Exhale to downward dog, hold here. We can walk the dog slightly. Inhale, begin to slightly lift one heel at a time. Exhale, remember keeping your hands planted firm, fingers spread. Your hands are hip distance apart. Exhale. We'll take one last inhale here before we prepare to step forward. One deep inhale and exhale. Let's step up to the top of the mat. Finding a nice neutral spine. You can have your hands on your shins or the ground and exhale, fold deeply. And inhale, slowly bring the body up to namaste over the head, peace, hands. Exhale, release. And inhale, namaste over the head. Exhale, fold. Place the hands on your head or your knees. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Take an inhale and press into your shoulders. Come onto your toes if you can as you step back to plank. Lower to our 8-limb serpent, placing your chin, chest, knees, toes. Inhale to cobra. Push the hips down, pull the shoulders away. Exhale to downward dog. Breathe here. Inhale, ground your fingers. Exhale, push the earth away. Notice your upper back instead of collapsing your chest to the floor and dipping into your spine. Knit your front ribs in. Engage your lat muscles to support your armpits, creating a perfectly neutral, unbending spine. And exhale. You can walk your dog a little if you like. Take an inhale and exhale. Step to the top of your mat. Find your flat back, whether that's hands on your shins or hands on the floor. Exhale, fold. Inhale, slowly bring your body up. Namaste over the head and exhale, fold. Inhale, namaste over the head and exhale, fold. Bring your hands where they can, if that's the mat or your shins. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Now, if you can get to the mat, let's step, lean into your shoulders, lift the left leg and step back to plank chaturanga, 8-limbed serpent. Inhale to cobra and exhale to downward dog. Breathe here. Inhale, look between your legs. Send your sit bones skyrocketing towards the ceiling. Exhale. Activate the legs. Drive your thighs back towards the wall behind you. Pull your kneecaps up to engage your quad. One last inhale and exhale. Step to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift and exhale, fold. Inhale, namaste over the head and exhale, release. Let's begin Surya Namaskara B. Inhale, take a nice deep squat into chair pose. Lift your hands high, look up and exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Place the hands if you can. Lift the right leg and step back to plank, 8-limbed serpent. Inhale to cobra, push the hips down, pull the shoulders back, exhale to downward dog, breathe here. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, step your right foot forward, sweep your hands up into warrior one with your back leg at a 45-degree angle. Now we're gonna keep our hands behind our ears. In our standard Ashtanga, our hands are in front of our ears, but we're opening the thoracic spine. Exhale, release into your flow, whether that's chaturanga or your 8-limbed serpent. And exhale back to downward dog. And inhale, exhale, warrior one. Sweep your hands forward. Again, let's open up the thoracic spine. We can pull our shoulders back. This isn't the standard Ashtanga sequence, but we take parts from it. Inhale and exhale. Release down to our 8-limbed serpent. Inhale, exhale back down to downward dog. Inhale, press into the heels. Exhale, look between your legs. Inhale, be mindful of your finger mechanics. Keep them spread, hands hip distance apart. And exhale, pressing the shoulders down and away. Look between your legs and release. Inhale, let's prepare for a little jump. Remember your finger mechanics. Find your drishti, your point of focus. Inhale and exhale, jump. And release. Halfway lift flat back and fold. Inhale, let's come up to chair pose and exhale. Back to mountain pose, Tadasana. Inhale, chair pose, hands above the head and exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift flat back. Exhale, place the hands on the mat if you can. We'll prepare to lean into our shoulders. Take an inhale, lean into your toes, and exhale, slightly lift them, jump. Exhale down to chaturanga, 8-limb serpent. Inhale to cobra, and exhale to downward. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, step your right foot forward. Warrior one. Remember your arm engagement, your thoracic spine, and exhale. Take a step back to plank cobra. Pull the hips back and exhale to downward dog. Inhale, exhale, step the left foot forward. Warrior one. Pull your shoulders back, open the thoracic spine. Exhale, release. Plank, 8-limb serpent. Inhale to cobra, pull the shoulders back. Exhale to downward dog. 5 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, be mindful of the hands, hip distance apart. Look between your legs, your feet are hip distance apart. Take an inhale, make sure you're stepping with all your toes. Plant your hands wide, remember your finger mechanics. And exhale. Take an inhale, look forward and jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, slowly bring your whole body up to chair pose, Uttanasana. Exhale, release. We'll prepare for our last one. Inhale, namaste over the head. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, place the hands, lean into the shoulders. We'll prepare for a little jump. Lift the left leg, jump, and back to plank, 8-limbed serpent. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to downward dog. Take a deep inhale here and step into warrior one. Exhale, release. Plank, chaturanga, 8-limbed serpent. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to downward dog. Breathe here. Step your left foot forward, warrior one. And exhale. Coming down to plank, chaturanga, 8-limbed serpent. Inhale to cobra, pull the shoulders back. Exhale to downward dog. Breathe here. Feel your engagement. Where did you feel that? Are you feeling heavy in your legs? How are your hands feeling? Are your arms tired? Breathe here. Look between your legs. Tuck your belly. And open your thoracic spine. Inhale and exhale. Pull your shoulders back, dropping your head towards the mat. Inhale, look forward. Just prepare for our jump. Find your point of focus and jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale all the way up. Namaste over the head. Exhale, release to Tadasana. Standing sequence. Inhale, sweep the hands overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, place the hands. Step back to plank, chaturanga, 8-limbed serpent. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to downward dog. Inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, step it through to warrior one. Anchor your back foot at a 45-degree angle and square your hips forward. Inhale, straighten the front leg and square the hips to the side for triangle pose. Breathe. Exhale, send your hip back up towards the rear of your mat while deepening the crease in your right front leg. Keep your pelvis open to the side wall, ensuring you aren't sacrificing your shoulder mobility here. If you are, place your hand up higher on your leg, either on your shin or your thigh, never touching the joint. You can inhale and exhale, open the arm wide, look up, and exhale, release. Inhale, pivot your torso and your back foot, squaring your hips completely forward to the front of the mat. Both legs remain straight. Place your hands on your blocks on either side of your front foot. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, think to yourself, where is my alignment? Is my back flat, or am I sacrificing my shoulder mobility to reach this pose? We want to ensure we have a nice flat back. Look forward, find your gaze of focus. Inhale and exhale. Let's prepare for our revolved triangle. We're going to take our right hand and place it on behind our back. And we'll take our left hand and place it on the outside of our right block, preparing for our twist. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, find your stability here. Where is your left hand? Take an inhale, and then you exhale, open up the right arm, find your full position here, and release back to center, keeping hands on our blocks to find our alignment. And we'll step back, we'll find our flow to plank, chaturanga. 8-limbed serpent. Place your chin, chest, knees, toes, hands, feet. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to downward dog. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, step it through. Warrior one, squaring your hips completely forward. Inhale, straighten your front leg, pivot your pelvis to the side, open your hips and chest, lateral to the side wall for triangle pose. Inhale, extend your arms out wide, finding your length from fingertip to fingertip. Exhale, hinge from the hip crease and lower down. Place your left hand on a block or your shin. Ask yourself, where's my alignment? Ensure you aren't sacrificing your shoulder mobility or collapsing your chest just to reach the floor. Take one last inhale here. And exhale, release. Let's bring our hands down to place on our blocks and square our hips forward, bringing our back leg to be at a 45-degree angle. Look forward, gaze forward, straight, flat back. Find your alignment. Inhale, let's prepare for revolved triangle. And exhale. Inhale, let's take that left hand and place it behind our back, and we'll take the right hand and place it on the outside of our left foot, finding your twist here. This is already quite a twist. And again, where is your hand? Is it on your block or is it on the ground? Take an inhale here, find your alignment before we go a little bit further. Take an inhale and try and sweep that hand that's behind your back open. Look up to the sky. Inhale and exhale, release. Let's come back to center. And we'll prepare for our flow. Take an inhale and exhale. Step back to plank, chaturanga, 8-limbed serpent. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to downward dog. Remember to ignite your ujjayi breath. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Take an inhale and exhale to warrior two. Keep your front foot facing forward, tracking your knee directly over the ankle, and keep your back foot at a 90-degree angle. Take an inhale and exhale to peaceful warrior. Flip your palm and slide your backhand down the back thigh. And exhale, release, warrior two. Let's come down to side angle pose. Place your right hand firmly on the block inside your front foot. You can inhale. Let's open the left hand up to the sky. Look up. Now we'll prepare for our bind behind the back if you can. But be honest with yourself. Are you ready for this transition, or are you fine staying in side angle? Just remember to listen to your breath. If you're finding it difficult in side angle, I recommend staying here. But if you feel like you can go further, let's bring the hand behind our back using a cloth to bridge the gap. And we'll take our right hand and grab it underneath. For our big torso stretch, this really opens up the body for our back bend. And if you want, you can straighten the front leg. Take an inhale and exhale, straighten. Examine your body. Are you sacrificing anything to reach this? Breathe here and exhale, release. Let's do our flow. Exhale, let's step back, plank, chaturanga, 8-limbed serpent. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to downward dog. Be mindful of your ankles. And exhale, step forward to warrior two. Let's do the other side. Where's your alignment? Take an inhale and exhale. Flip the palm to peaceful warrior. Slide your right hand slightly down your back thigh. And exhale, release. We'll come down to our side angle pose. Placing the left hand on the block. Take an inhale and exhale. Sweep your right hand to the sky. And we'll prepare for our bind behind the back. If you're ready, take an inhale and exhale. Let's take the left shoulder and place it under the left leg. And this is our shelf in our yogi weightlifting for arm balances. Get it, this flexibility. Now, if you can, take an inhale and exhale, straighten your leg. But be honest with yourself here. Are you sacrificing anything to get here? If not, I invite you to go back to side angle. Inhale and exhale. Let's release. Step back, plank, chaturanga. Inhale to cobra and exhale to downward dog. Standing sequence. Inhale, sweep your right foot forward into warrior one. Keep your hips squared forward. Exhale, engage your core. Extend your arms wide out to the side, initiating a deep thoracic twist to the right. Keep your feet firmly rooted and pelvis stable. Take an inhale, find length through the crown of your head. Exhale, drop your right hand to the back of your left thigh for leverage and sweep your left arm straight up and behind your back ear, entering a revolved reverse warrior. Take an inhale and exhale, release. Find your flow and exhale to downward dog. Inhale, step your left foot forward. Warrior one, keeping your hips squared. Engage your core. Exhale. Open your arms. Let's do the thoracic twist to the left, keeping your feet firm and your pelvis stable as you gaze back. Inhale, find length. Drop your left hand to the back of your right thigh for leverage. Sweep your right arm straight up behind your ear for your revolved reverse triangle. Hold here. Breathe. Exhale. Find your flow. Chaturanga, 8-limbed serpent. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to downward dog. Let's prepare for our resting sequence. Inhale, take a deep breath before we lift the right leg high, keeping our hips squared forward. And exhale, step the right leg through for pigeon pose. Let's be mindful of the hips, ensuring they're squared forward. Keep your front foot actively flexed to protect the knee joint. Now, take a deep inhale. How are you feeling? Some of you may be ready to lower, others may not. Be honest with yourself. Inhale and exhale as you begin to slowly walk your hands down as far as you feel comfortable. Maybe coming onto your forearms, ensuring we keep a nice flat back. We don't want to be collapsing at the shoulder. If you are, I invite you to walk your hands up a little bit further to maintain that nice neutral spine. Take an inhale and exhale. Be mindful of the gap between your hips and the floor. Inhale and exhale. Let's sweep your left leg all the way around to fire log pose. Stacking your shins. We want to have our left ankle stacked directly over our right knee. Now, let's take a deep breath here before we even think about folding forward. Notice how this feels. This position creates massive external rotation in the hips, deeply stretching your outer glutes, your deep hip rotators, and the piriformis muscle. Take an inhale and exhale. Let's place the hands on the mat and begin to lean forward. Take another deep breath in here, check in with yourself, and exhale. Let's walk forward a little further, always going further on the exhales. Take an inhale. Maybe you'll stay here, or exhale. Maybe you'll walk a little bit further, ensuring we're not collapsing at the shoulders, maintaining a nice neutral spine. And hold here and release. Let's begin to go to the left side. Now let's place our hands on the left side of the mat. This already is quite a torso stretch, so check in with yourself. How does this feel? Some of you may want to stay here. Others may be ready to lean forward slightly. If you are, walk your hands forward on the exhale. Take an inhale and exhale. Walk your hands forward a little bit further, maybe coming into your forearms, maintaining a nice neutral spine, ensuring we aren't lifting the pelvis. We want both our pelvis seated. Let's release and do the right side. Placing our hands on the right side of the mat. Hold here, check in with yourself. Inhale, exhale. Let's slowly walk forward. Inhale, exhale, walk your hands forward, keeping both of our sit bones planted on the mat. We don't want our sit bone coming off the mat to reach this pose, so check in with yourself. Are you ready to come down further, or are you comfortable staying up a little bit higher? Always listening to the breath and moving on the exhales. Inhale and exhale. Let's release back to center. Okay, let's prepare to open the hip joint just a little bit more. Inhale and exhale. Lift and cradle your left leg. Ensure your left foot is snuggled into your right elbow crease. Now let's explore your range of motion. Observe your body. Can you comfortably draw your shin towards your chest, or is it better to hold it slightly away from your torso? Inhale and exhale. Find your rhythm. Gently sway your leg back and forth, lubricating the hip socket and exploring your mobility. Now let's work on drawing your foot closer to the body. Move dynamically with your breath, always compressing on the exhale. Inhale and exhale. Draw the foot a fraction closer to your chest. Inhale, exhale. Let's transition. Place your left foot in the palm of your left hand and begin to extend your legs straight out in front of you, keeping your right leg bent and grounded. Maintain a perfectly flat back. And we'll take our right hand and place it on the back of our heel for extra support. Take an inhale and exhale. Gently pull your leg towards your chest and release. Let's do our flow. If you prefer to rest in child's pose, you may. Otherwise, step back to plank, chaturanga, 8-limb serpent, knees, chin, chest, toes. Inhale to cobra and exhale to downward dog. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, step it through for a pigeon pose. Sit deeply into your hips, ensuring your hip points are squared forward. Keep your left knee tracking slightly wider than your left hip. Take a moment to breathe. How does this feel before we lower? Inhale and exhale. Look forward and walk the hands down slowly on the exhale. Inhale, exhale. Observe yourself. How does this feel? Is your back flat? Is your gaze forward? Breathe here. Inhale, exhale. Let's release. Ground down through your hands. Shift your weight and sweep your right leg all the way through for a fire log pose. Ensure your right foot is stacked precisely over your left knee, sorry. Inhale, exhale. Let's observe ourselves before we go forward. This is already quite a stretch. Inhale, exhale. Place the hands on the mat in front of you. Inhale, exhale. Find length through your spine. Look forward. Inhale, exhale. Walk your hands forward a tiny bit and breathe here. Inhale, exhale. Walk your hands a tiny bit further, maintaining that forward gaze, flat back. Maybe you'll stay here or maybe you'll go down a little bit further, maintaining your natural rhythm. Breathe here. Observe yourself. How do you feel in this position? Are you finding comfort? Inhale, exhale. Let's release back to center and prepare for our lateral flexion, starting on the left side. Inhale and exhale. Place your hands on the outside of the left side of the mat. Find your foundation. Notice how this feels. Take an inhale. Are you ready to go further? Inhale, exhale. Go down a little further, following your rhythm. Inhale, exhale. Observe yourself. Are both sit bones planted on the mat? Is your gaze forward? Inhale, exhale. Let's go back to center and do the other side. Inhale, exhale. Place your hands on the right side of the mat. Breathe here. Observe yourself before you go down. Inhale, exhale. Walk your hands down slowly, observing yourself as you go, maintaining both sit bones on the mat. And inhale, exhale. Let's release back to center. Now, breathe here. Observe yourself. Before we cradle the leg, take a moment to breathe. Inhale, exhale. Lift and grab your right leg. Cradle it into your arms and hug it tight. Ensure you have a nice flat back before we start swaying forward. Back and forth. Inhale, exhale. Let's sway back and forth, opening up the hip socket while maintaining your natural steady rhythm. Now that the hip joint is feeling warm and open, let's explore a range of motion. Can you pull your foot closer to your chest, or maybe even bring it up to your head? Let's explore. Inhale, exhale. Hug your foot closer to your chest. Is this enough right here, or can you go a little bit further? Inhale, exhale. Let's see if you can pull it up to your head. Inhale, exhale. Go a tad further. Wherever you are today, you're doing a great job. Breathe here. Inhale, exhale, and let's release. Now let's flip our grip. Let's grab our toes and we'll take our other hand and grab the back of our heel for support. And we'll straighten the right leg, keeping our left foot where it is, our left leg where it is. Find your balance. Look forward. Keep your flat back. Inhale, exhale. Let's bring it closer. Inhale, exhale. Hug it a little bit closer or stay where you are. Inhale, exhale. Wherever you are, you're doing it fine. Inhale, exhale. Let's release and come back to seated. Let's prepare to open our legs in butterfly. Begin to tap the inner thigh. We did a lot of stretching. And let's bring our feet together for butterfly pose. Inhale, exhale. Find length in your spine. Forward gaze. Maybe some of you will stay here, others may not. If you're ready to go forward, inhale, exhale, place your hands forward. Inhale, exhale, observe yourself. Are you ready to go further? Inhale, exhale, slowly walk your hands forward as far as you feel comfortable going. You can also use blocks to help keep that nice neutral spine and your forward gaze. Inhale, exhale, let's release and prepare for our final sequence of today. Inhale, exhale, take a moment for yourself. Maybe that's child pose. Maybe that's a toe stretch. Do something good for you and meet me in downward dog. Take a deep inhale in downward dog. Exhale, bring your right leg through for lizard pose. We want to place our right foot directly outside our right hand. Keep your palms planted, fingers spread. Distribute your weight into your shoulders. Breathe here. Now, some of you may choose to stay here, but if your body allows, roll your right foot open so that your knee flares open. Take a deep inhale and gently press your thigh with your right hand. Inhale, exhale. Only go as far as your mobility allows. If this depth isn't accessible today, that's completely okay. Stay in your standard lizard pose and let's focus on building up the strength and stability for that deep thoracic twist. Inhale, exhale. Now, for those who are ready to go a step further, we're going to target a massive release for the left quadriceps and hip flexors. We're going to bend the back knee and draw that left foot in towards your tailbone. Now, this is a major reach, so if the hand to foot connection isn't there, I highly recommend using a strap or a cloth to bridge the gap. Inhale and exhale. Let's try to bring that left foot as close to our tailbone as possible. Inhale, exhale, and release. Let's come back into runner's lunge to decompress the hip flexor. Inhale, exhale. Let's slide back into lizard pose. And let's reach back and grab that left foot again. Inhale, exhale, draw it towards your tailbone. See if your quad can find just a tiny bit more depth and compliance. Inhale, exhale. Let's hold and release into runner's lunge with blocks to assist us. Inhale, exhale, place blocks on either side of the mat. With toes flexed, let's shift our weight into the back of the left knee, extending the right foot forward. Now, let's take our right hand and grab the tips of our toes, pulling them towards the torso. This adds an extra highly targeted stretch to our posterior chain, deeply opening the hamstrings and the calf muscles. Inhale, exhale. Now let's grab our bolster and prepare for our journey into full splits. Keeping your blocks on either side of your mat, place the bolster directly under your pelvis. Inhale, exhale. Press lightly into your blocks to keep your spine neutral and your hips perfectly squared forward. Inhale, exhale. Observe your body. Are you ready to remove the bolster? If so, I invite you to slide the bolster out and let gravity do the work. Inhale, exhale. Hold here. Observe yourself wherever you are before we release. And come back onto your knees. Let's gently massage our thighs. That was a lot of work for our hamstrings, hip flexors, and quadriceps. Using your hands to gently massage the area. Meet me in downward dog for our last side. A deep inhale. And as you exhale, let's bring the foot forward, stepping it on the outside of our hand for lizard pose on the left. As we settle in, remember it's normal to have one side that's more flexible. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, roll the foot open. Roll the left foot open. Take an inhale. And exhale, gently press the thigh away if you're ready for this. Observe yourself. Are you comfortable in lizard or are you ready for this? Deep inhale and observe yourself before we go further and add the cloth. And as you exhale, gently lift your right leg. Now let's twist back and use the cloth to bridge the gap. Let's pull the right leg towards our pelvis. Inhale, observe yourself. Exhale, pull the right leg towards your pelvis. Hold. Take a deep inhale, hold here wherever you are. And exhale, release. Let's come into runner's lunge to decompress the hip flexor. Take a deep inhale, observe yourself before we try one more time. And exhale, let's go back into our lizard with our foot. Pull it towards our pelvis if you can, or just in the full lizard. And then we'll come back to our runner's lunge. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, shift your weight back on your toes, keeping your front right leg extended out. Inhale, exhale, let's grab our toes. For that extra stretch, take a deep inhale. Keep your gaze forward. Find your flat, neutral spine. Avoid the temptation of dropping your chin to your chest. We want to keep that torso long and open. Now let's place the block under our pelvis and prepare for our splits transition with our blocks on either side. Take a deep inhale. Observe yourself. Keep your toes flexed. And exhale. Sit a little further. Let's remove the block. Now let's let gravity do the work. Keep your hips flexed forward. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, hold here before we release and come back onto our knees. That was a lot of stretching. You can sit on your toes if you like, or just sit on your knees. We'll do one final twist and we'll do our bridge. And then today's class is over. So whenever you're ready, meet me on your back for our full body twist. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Meet me laying on the mat. Now let's draw our knees toward our chest and lay to our left side with our hands open. And let's look to our right. We can keep our left hand on our legs to hold them down. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Let's release and do the other side. We'll lay our legs to the left, lay our legs to the right, looking to the left. And exhale, release. Great job. Meet me on a wall for this last transition. Place your blocks on the outside of your mat, shoulder width apart. Let's prepare for our pre-wheel. Lay your hands down flat. Inhale, exhale, lift the pelvis. Hold here and release. Let's try that one more time. Inhale and exhale, lift the pelvis. We can place our hands at the base of our lower back for extra support, ensuring our feet are pointed forward. Take a deep inhale and exhale, release. Rest here. Let's do one more. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Press the pelvis forward using our lower back to help. Push through your heels and your legs. Raise your hips as high as you can. Exhale, release. Now let's prepare for our peak expression, full wheel pose. Place your hands firmly on your blocks at the wall. This elevation reduces the strain on your wrists and gives you the necessary leverage to maximize shoulder flexion and open up thoracic spine. Walk your feet a little bit closer towards your pelvis. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, drive through your foundations and come all the way up. Now that you naturally start on your toes here, but I invite you to ground your feet completely flat on the mat. Rooting here stabilizes your pelvis and prevents you from dumping shear forces into your lumbar spine. Take a deep inhale and exhale. And as we hold here, if you're feeling a strain, I invite you to stay here. If not, let's begin to actively straighten our legs, pushing into our shoulders here. We've done a lot of shoulder opening. Now we're going to put the work in action. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, slowly straighten your legs. Take a deep inhale and exhale, straighten your legs as far as you can. Planting both feet on the ground. Inhale and exhale, let's release. We will come into laying flat on our back. Let's hug our feet and decompress the spine before we try one more time. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Let's reposition our hands on the blocks and prepare our feet. A deep inhale and exhale. Let's come up into our wheel. Now, before we go further, observe yourself. We haven't pressed into the shoulders yet. If you like, you can walk your feet a little closer to the pelvis. Take a deep inhale, and as we exhale, slowly straighten your leg as much as you can. Hold here. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Let your release. Come back onto flat back. Hug your legs into your chest to decompress the spine. Take another breath here. Observe yourself. Where did you feel the tension? And where has it been released? Maybe you can come into happy baby. Do whatever is comfortable for you before we do our Shavasana. Meet me in Shavasana, laying flat on the back. Observe your breath. Ignite your Ujjayi breath. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Today we explored the backbending capacity and mapped out the intrinsic dynamics of the body, observing how separate kinetic chains interconnect to build an elite, stable backbend. Take one last deep inhale and exhale. Meet me in seated. We'll finish today's class with Om. Bring your hands together. Take a deep inhale. We'll exhale to Om. Well, thank you for practicing. Namaste. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.